Hi, friends. So we are coming up on day 4. So if you have not yet downloaded the workbook for day 4 to 5, which is getting in action, please do so because this is a very, very important step in this kickstart. So if you look here, we've got the table of contents just to guide you through all of the day 4 important things to go through, because this is a lot of what we see people struggle with before they actually implement the things they need to do, or they just willy-nilly kind of assume that, okay, I've got this, and they start, but then something comes up, whatever, and they don't have this pre-knowledge of what to expect or like pre-plan in place. So take some time to read through that. And then once you come up to this section, this is where we're going to get into the homework. So first off, we're going to go through picking the speed of your transformation, your progress indicators, your nutrition, your workouts, your weekly schedule, and then the committing to follow through part. So the worksheets, I would say, if you can set aside 30 minutes just to take some time and really think through your answers and be as detailed as possible, because the more you can get clear inside of your head the things that you want to do, the easier it'll be to quick make decisions, and obviously they're going to be in the direction of the progress that you want to make. So anything to get the dial moving in the direction, or the needle moving in the direction that you would like to go. So day 4, first thing we've got to figure out is, what kind of transformation is this for you? Is this going to be a slow and gradual transformation, or is this going to be a fast overhaul? There is no wrong answer. It just depends on what you're feeling you need right now. Because if you try to put yourself through a slow and gradual transformation, meanwhile you you have this burning desire to really just give her and just have this full-on focus, you might kind of be slowing yourself down, or just running into misalignment with where you want in your head versus the direction you're going with the program. So be very clear. If you don't know whether you want slow and gradual or if you want a fast overhaul, 2 ways of kind of explaining it is, a fast overhaul is just going the next 2 to 3 months, just really working hard, focusing on your workouts and your nutrition, and being very, very consistent with that, and very as close to on point with the workouts and meals, and not really giving yourself the time and flexibility where slow and gradual would allow you to. So you're okay with that fast overhaul. Slow and gradual is probably 4 to 6 plus months. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what I did for my postpartum transformation journey. I just focused on being consistent with a lot of imperfection, because it's so hard to navigate mom life with 2 kids. It's a lot different than life with just 1 kid, even before kids. So it really depends on what season of life you're in, and both options are okay. It just, what do you want right now? So then, of course, once you've made that decision, why did you choose this? And if you're still kind of unsure, do pros and cons for each one. And then the one that has the most pros, then obviously that'll be the one you'll go with. Progress indicators is the next piece that you need to figure out. Are you going to do weekly measurements of your waist, hip, thighs, arm, shoulders, chest? What landmarks are you specifically looking for? And take that measurement. If you're doing a scale, I highly encourage incorporating other measurements with it, because the scale will never really show true progress, because there's so many other factors that can get in the way of seeing that true weight loss happening. If you're working out consistently, maybe different times of the day, your body weight won't be changing in the way that you want to, because muscle weighs more than body fat. So you could be losing body fat but putting on muscle, and they're counteracting each other and kind of erasing that drop in the scale that you're looking for. So all that to say, don't just do the scale, do measurements, do body fat percentage, scale, clothing fit test, pictures all the time. Week to week, you might not see too much change, but week 1 to week 4, you can really pick out, okay, I'm seeing some change on my midsection. There's a few inches in that way that lines up with my measurements. The more data you have of how your progress is going, the better it is for you. Because if you just have 1 or 2, there's so many factors that can kind of get in the way of seeing true progress. And there's no way to know, if you've done enough data with all the measurement pieces, like measuring body fat, scale, clothing test, and you're not seeing a change, it then gives you reason to, okay, I have to go back to the drawing board and figure out what I can fix to help my progress. So the more data, the better. So included in the kickoff, we actually have an appendix that goes over some meal plan samples and how to structure your nutrition throughout the day. It's just a very generic, like macros based sort of layout. So in there, you can definitely do your own kind of swapping around certain food groups. So your lean protein sources, your fatty protein sources, your carbs, with the lists that are there, you can just do swapping with what makes sense and for what you enjoy. So really make sure which one you're going to follow. Get clear on that. And with the next few questions here, we have enjoyment check, we have logistics check, we have clarity check, we have confidence check. All of these are super important to figure out ahead of time, because if you just kind of choose a plan and then you go into it, you're probably going to fall into the trap that a lot of us fall into, where life gets in the way, or we get busy, or we are using more willpower than we would like, etc. So first one, enjoyment check. Are you excited for this? Does it seem like it will be enjoyable? Is it something you want to do even if you're not seeing results? Because I'm telling you, if you're guilty of doing a program for like 2 weeks really good and you start to trickle off around week 3, week 4, you're just like, what am I doing? That is part and parcel of not really having the enjoyment factor high in your priorities with it. Some people go a little too extreme for extreme results, and there's that fine balance of, yes, you can go extreme, but if you're not enjoying it, it's just going to rebound you back to where you started or worse. So we like to make sure, okay, enjoyment check. Is this something you can stick with? And can you continue with it when maybe you're in a weight loss plateau, or maybe you've gotten sick, or you're going through an injury? Is it something you can stick with when your motivation is plummeting because of not really seeing results that you want to? Because sometimes what our bodies do is with all the work that we're doing, sometimes progress doesn't reveal itself until week 3 or week 4. It's just, the magic of the body and how everything kind of interconnects with each other, from hormones, digestion to stress, all of those things. So we always say stick with it for at least 2 weeks before you make any big adjustments. And so really make sure, is this something that you are enjoying? Because you need to be able to stick with it. Secondly, logistics check. Does this fit with other commitments that you have in your life? And you absolutely have to assume that on days you have meal prep, it is going to take longer than you expect. Derek and I are guilty of this all the time, where we're like, oh yeah, we'll go get groceries and we'll do meal prep. And then fast forward to 9 p.m. at night and it's still happening, because you underestimate the time it takes to cook your food and prep it into your containers, if that's what you're doing, or make your recipes from the ingredients that you've cooked, etc. It can take a long time. So be aware of how long it should take for you, and then add on another half an hour to an hour. And carve out that time too. Nothing is more stressful than trying to do all of that while also trying to rush out for an appointment or out the door or doing other things in your house. So carve out time more than what you expect so that you leave wiggle room. Clarity check. Have you done enough work to plan out what you're doing so that there is no uncertainty in the moment when you are getting ready to eat your meal? This is another big one. Are you thinking ahead of, okay, I'm making all my ingredients and I'm just going to grab and go? Or are you taking all the ingredients that you've made, putting them into pre-planned meals and grabbing them and going? So either way is okay. Some people prefer one or the other, but get clear on what you're doing, because if you're trying to do it in a way that's like, it feels unprepared and a little disorganized to you, you're going to probably feel that stress throughout the rest of the day. And you might miss a meal or two, or maybe you're just going to rush through adding things in, and you might add more than you need to, which At the end of the week, if that's a continual thing, you're going to take away the deficit, that caloric deficit that you would need to see progress. So be very mindful of how you're going to go about this whole thing through, like we said, the enjoyment check, the logistics, and the clarity check. Get rid of the uncertainty and be confident in what you're doing. Write it out, write it down, put it in your phone, set reminders, do all the things you have to get yourself very focused on the things that you're doing. And then lastly, confidence check. So are you confident this plan will get you the results that you want? Why or why not? If you don't believe in what you're doing, when something happens to you, like getting sick or having an injury, it's going to be so easy for you to just, casually start cutting corners or just not giving it your all because you don't really believe that it's going to get you to where you want to go. You need to have that confidence high. And if you struggle with that confidence, you don't really know what you're doing, that's a great time to have coaches help you. We help with that. But confidence is key. Being consistent is even more key. And without the two, it's really hard to carry both of them forward. Moving on to workout planning. So with the Kickstart program that we have, there are 2 weeks worth of workouts that you can go through. And this is really helpful for getting yourself into momentum, into routine. But you also need to be clear on the things that you're doing for your workouts, just like we were for nutrition. So enjoyment check. Are you enjoying this? If you don't want to do your workout, sure, you can show up if you make yourself show up, but it's going to be a lot harder to show up on the days that you feel low energy or you feel unmotivated. Willpower only lasts so long, so you got to make sure that you're enjoying what you're doing. Is there a way you can make this fun? So for me, I pair going on the bike for my cardio days with watching my favorite Netflix show. Recently, it was Selling Sunset, and I enjoyed it, and I got a lot of cardio in. So maybe there's an amazing playlist that you have that you put on in the garage or on your headphones. Maybe there's a podcast you listen to, something that you can pair with getting yourself to do the workout and enjoy it. Logistically, how is this going to fit into your schedule? Again, do you have the time set aside to get in an uninterrupted workout? Can you fit it in before work, before your kids get up? Is it something you need to do once you get home from work, before you sit on the couch? Where can this fit in your day, and how many days in the week are you going to be doing it? Are you going to have a rest day on Wednesday or Sunday, or maybe you have a rest day on Tuesday and Friday? Whatever that looks like, get clear on that and figure out the logistics for yourself. Lastly, clarity check. So have you done enough work to plan out what you're doing so that there is no uncertainty in the moment? So yes, getting clear on the day, getting clear on the time of the workout, getting clear on the length, getting clear on the warm-up, the cool down. What does your active recovery day look like, or your day of rest? Are you having an Epsom salt bath? Are you foam rolling? Are you going for a walk outside? Maybe on your rest days you go out with some friends and you kind of have a low-key night. What does that look like for yourself, and are you clear with that? Confidence check. Are you confident this plan will get you the results that you want? Why or why not? So again, along with nutrition, confidence is key here, because if you don't believe in the workouts that you're doing, you're probably not going to give them 100%. And we do need intensity in those workouts to put your muscles through the right stimulus, to get your heart rate elevated, to boost your metabolism. That goes hand in hand with nutrition. The higher your metabolism is boosted, the more fat burning that your body is going to do. It works with the caloric deficit. It all kind of goes together. So be confident in what you're doing. And if you need coaching to make sure that you are pushing hard enough, get a personal trainer or join a gym that has group classes, or hire us as coaches if you're needing that specific instruction as well. Whatever it may be, just get clear, get confident, and make sure that you are able to show up consistently because of that. Weekly schedule. Okay, this is a big one. Make sure you know what days in the week you have your night out with friends. Maybe you have a book club. Maybe you are having to take your kids somewhere at night. Getting clear on what your week looks like allows you to plan ahead and put your workouts in for the week, as well as when your food prep is going to happen. All of these little logistical details matter because when it comes to the day of, nothing's worse than forgetting the things you have to do and feeling rushed or skipping them or having to do them last minute or late. So get really clear on your weekly schedule, write it out, put it in your planner, whether it's a Google calendar on your phone, maybe you have a handwritten agenda that you like to make your notes in, whatever it may be diligent in planning it out so that you can insert your workouts, your meal prep, your when you're going to drink your water, all those little things that matter. After you fill in both of those sections, we're going to come up to the backup plan part. So this is what we like to have in place for those days that don't go as planned. Maybe you wake up sick, or your kid is home from school because they're sick, or maybe you have an event to go to, or you have to travel for work. Whatever the case may be, if there's something that comes up that pulls you out of your normal routine, it's really easy to be caught off guard, forget something, miss out on something, or say, oh, I guess I'll just get back on track next week. And that is what causes us to lose momentum, okay? Momentum is key here. So do not let yourself lose momentum. Instead, maybe lower the bar a bit on these days and have a plan in place for these days so that you know, oh, feeling sick today. Okay, I know that in my plan, on the days I don't feel good, I am going to do this many steps per day. I'm going to go on the bike inside or at the gym for 20 minutes, just steady state, no high intensity. Or maybe I'm just going to do a banded workout at home using my couch, using my mat, whatever the case may be. Set the standard of the bare minimum for those days so that you can still keep up that momentum by showing up, doing the work, being consistent. It's not about trying to show up every single day and doing that 45-minute workout and crushing it real hard and all the things, because when we get like that, yeah, it's motivating and it's awesome to feel good with that motivation when it's really, really high. But when we have these days that throw us off guard, it's easy to kind of get out of routine, get out of momentum, and kind of lose that progress that we're making because we've taken our foot off the gas pedal. So, with all of that, we're going to end with a little agreement, commitment to follow through. So, take some time to print this out, fill out your name, sign it at the end. I blank commit to follow through on this goal. When setbacks come up, obstacles arise, discouragement sets in, I commit to persevere, ask for help, and keep going, even if only at a 5% effort. I acknowledge that I'm doing this because it is important to me, and I acknowledge that showing up and being imperfect, but consistent, is more important than doing things perfectly. Signed by you, and hang that up on your mirror in your bathroom, put it at your side table, put it on your fridge, wherever you need to. Remind yourself that this is the biggest thing, committing to follow through. Follow through on the days that suck. Follow through on the days that are good. Follow through when you feel like you're not making progress. Follow through, be consistent, and you are going to continue in the right direction.